spotting in the bottom left-hand corner. As the blue Protoss player, he plays for Good Game Gaming. It is Patience.
And spawning here at the top right, he's the red Terran player, hailing from Korea and playing for the team of Freaka Freaks. Make some noise for TY.
This Terran skin looks so much like Borderlands. Do you know the game, Borderlands?
Yep, I heard about it.
Yeah, the graphics is so similar. It's quite a beautiful skin.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful skin there.
Alrighty. It's a little bit of a probe versus SCV action, as always, in the early game. Patience is gonna go ahead and get himself some scouting information. And TY is gonna start off with a Marine. Nothing too map aggressive on the side of the Terran player. And actually the same can be said for Patience on the other side.
Yeah, now because of opening up with a Marine, he is going to definitely get the factory and the reactor a bit quicker here. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what this is for. Is this for a Widowmine drop, maybe a Hellion drop? We definitely seen both of them very, very in the meta in TVP. So we'll soon figure out what those initial units are going to be coming out here for the Red Terran.
Patience doesn't really want his opponent to be free to do whatever he wants. He's gonna go ahead and drop a pylon right here on the top border of the map. And I'm very curious to see what is this for as well, because we just see kind of a standard Twilight Council opener on the side of Patience.
This might be a DT opener, but that's a pretty close proxy DT, if I say so myself. I mean, that's where usually the Terran players either, makes their third or fourth base. So I would have, if he was going to proxy, or maybe, oh no, it's just going to be a proxy.
3 gates, yeah.
Yeah, 3 gates. All right.
Well, the good old builds. And Patience has been quite obnoxious with his adepts already. He's been kind of forcing a lot of APM out of TY, kind of dealing a lot of damage to his Marines. Every single one of the Marines by TY survived with like 2 HP, by the way. So, good micro on the side of the Terran player. The bunker stands up in his natural, and now also Dark Shrine is gonna be warped in at the proxy location. Patience is definitely all in on this.
Oh yeah. Gonna be following up with some cheeky play. Now, do we have the engineering bay out here? Nope, seems like there is no engineering bay, but he is making the tech lab, so he can definitely make a Raven out of that to get the vision for those DTs. However, is it going to be out in time? That's the question.
He didn't start Blink. I thought he started Blink. Without Blink, he's not really that all in. He's just a very committed, aggressive option for TY, but this is less all in than I thought it was. Meanwhile, the harassment from TY with the alien gets 2 probes. These adepts in the top right still getting a lot of damage. They're not the best against SCVs, but there's still 3 of them. And as you can see, they're getting a lot of SCV, a lot of APM, a lot of mining time. And it's gonna be a total of, I think, probably 9. Yeah, just the 9. Meanwhile, Widowmine drop and Marines here in the Protoss side of the map. It's gonna get 4 probes out of the question for Patience, and just kind of slowing down a little bit his aggressive options.
Well, definitely that drop definitely helped him, as it did buy him enough time to make that Raven, and it's gonna pop out just in time for these DTs.
Yeah, and it forced a lot of attention out of Patience. So this one single Dark Templar will escape, the other will stay dead next to the bunker. And I have to say, this has been quite an interesting game this far. We see Patience without a third base dropping down 5 gateways.
Oh wow.
5 gateways and charge. So he definitely has something very aggressive in mind. TY though, still getting his own army through the map. This game is getting more and more interesting by the minute. It's a very odd game.
Yeah, definitely odd for sure. You don't usually see, this kind of all-in attempt by the Protoss, but gonna probably morph those DTs into Archon and then just add in a bunch of charges on. Just go for the strike and the kill. We'll see how he does. But there is that Raven that can actually throw down those anti-armor missiles, which should help against the
Matrixes on top of the Archons.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 Archons though. If you've ever seen me cast, you know I'm quite fond of Archons. I think they are a pretty good unit. So the Adepts will be shading into the main as a distraction. Meanwhile, the main army of Patience will come clashing down here in the natural. The Zealots will get on top of the tank. Interference Matrix will not go down because it's gonna be an anti-armor missile. And forcing this Protoss army backwards. Tank and bunker will go down. Meanwhile, the Archons are still getting very close. They're getting a lot of damage out of those Archons, out of those Marines, though, with that negative armor right now. So the Zealots will need to tank a lot of damage very quickly. There's still 1 tank into the main. One of the Archons is very bruised, and he's gonna go down probably very quickly. The Zealots will get on top of everything else. A lot of damage is gonna be dished on top of these Archons. Meanwhile, another round of Zealots will try to get in the main. These tanks are the real MVPs this far, but finally Archons and Zealots will get on top of them. Archon is very low on the health department, and he's gonna go down. The whole army of Patience is gonna be cleared. He did quite a lot of damage, but I don't really think he did enough.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if he had a dirt base, but he's still on equal footing on terms of bases, and he needs to do more significant damage with these charge blocks. I just don't think he has quite enough.
Great micro by TY, dropping down that auto turret and hiding his Marines behind it, being able to save quite a lot of them. This supply depot will also not burn down. Meanwhile, 3 more Archons are gonna be worked in. Patience is at his lifeline right now. He's gonna drop his final attack, his Hail Mary here with these Archons and a few other charge lots. But one of the Archons immediately falls, the other is very bruised. This Raven is still up and standing. One of the tanks still dishing damage, who's gonna get the Archon. The other Archon is getting on top of the ramp, but it's too much damage. Patience will drop, and TY. That's the first game of the series. Man, this was a beautiful game.
Yeah, for sure. A beautiful hold there by TY. Remember, his army was kind of, the majority of it was in the main base chasing those 3 Adepts, and it could have gone definitely ugly, but those tanks, like you said, those were like the MVPs. They definitely got some nice shots off there on the Protoss army.
I still feel like Patience could have done a little bit more with that. Like, if he fully committed to just the economical damage, maybe in the natural, would have been to, I don't know, whittle down his opponent in some way instead of fully committing on the ramp. I think that full commit on the ramp was his downfall, actually. And those tanks could have maybe dealt more damage to the mineral line, to the SCVs, than the damage they could have dealt to the Protoss army if he fully committed into the mineral line. But Patience decided to go for the straight up killing maneuver, and it didn't really work. So good old by TY, but I still feel like actually somebody pointed in the chat as well that Patience army had a little bit more potential there.
Yeah, maybe if you had like an extra round of warpins, maybe. I don't know. I think with a build like that, you want to kind of override your opponent with the numbers, and he kind of just only came in with a. It didn't look, kind of significant or very dangerous. I think he probably should have just warped in another round.
Yeah, I do agree. But it's a new game, a new story. And Patience has proven to actually be able to stand tall as TY is. So let's see if he manages to get another good game here in the second set of this best of 5 series, spawning in the top left hand corner as the blue Protoss player, currently struggling 1 point below his opponent in this best of 5. It is Patience.
And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Terran player playing for the team of Freaka Freaks, looking to extend his lead to 2-0. Can he do it? It is TY.
Oh boy, he certainly can. Let's see what Patience have to say about this.
Now this
Also going on a completely different map. What were you saying, by the way?
oh no, nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just wanted to point out that heading into a completely different map after such a chaotic game, it's gonna be interesting to see how the players will actually adapt to a map that is widely considered to be a very safe macro map, especially in the early game.
Yeah, I was gonna mention like how chaotic that opening was in the last game, and I wonder like who would that kind of favor in those chaotic situations. Like we know like someone like maybe the likes of SOS, he might fare better in those chaotic situations. But between these two, who do you think would be more advantageous for if it was to start off like craziness like the last game?
Both players are very good micro players, but I do feel like TY is this kind of a freezing cold style of player. Like you can never really put him in a position he feels like overwhelmed or he feels like scared or something like that. It's just this cold-minded player that can really react to every situation without being too scared of anything. I don't know how to say it properly, but I just think that being TY a much colder player in this sense, he kind of shines a little bit more in the chaotic situation. Even though Patience is a great micro player, TY also a great micro player, just maybe more experienced in those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Had to fight more in these chaotic scenarios.
Yeah, well, we definitely gonna have ourselves a interesting, at least awkward situation in a couple of seconds, because this Orgo is running in the flight path of that proxy starport. So we'll see if Patience, kind of pull back his Orgo to help defend, or you just go ahead across the map and try to ravage the mineral line. But here we go. The first 4 Hellions does get spotted by this Adept. This poor Adept will go ahead and go away into the Protoss heaven, if there is any such thing.
Well, that's a lot of great scouting coming from the Oracle, but these full medivac is still heading into the main of the Protoss player. 2 Stalkers waiting for it. They're gonna deny these easy... Oh my god, yeah, that was a little bit of a sleep over there by Patience. TY able to sneak past these Stalkers, and probes are already starting to fall. Not the best highest damage possible, but that's 6 probes going down, a full scout, and that's also a little bit of energy forced out of this Oracle. Patience have done a little bit better there.
Yeah, losing 6 probes, not the best. Now they're even in workers, and then of course you add in those meals for TY, then of course that kind of tilts it over, as you can see in the income graph, a huge spike there for TY. So not the best start.
No, definitely not. And Patience still the Stargate hype train, getting this map control on a big map and stuff such as that. But TY is starting to drop down the very standard free rocks production with a Fur Command Center coming soon. A lot of good defense options. And Patience is getting 2 Twilight Consoles?
Now we can't assume that this is a mistake, because they're just built right next to each other. So this is very intentional.
They're not right next to each other. That's a Twilight and a 4 one side and the Twilight Demon
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Oh boy.
Is this a mistake?
Yeah, definitely 2 Twilight Constants, 2 Forges.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, he just canceled. Okay, he just realized in the last minute. Or the last second.
Yeah, that was a close call, though. It was way too close for comfort. Yeah, it was looking pretty weird. But, you know, sometimes I just think, yeah, they know better than me. That's why they're a pro player, and I just here behind the screen talking about their games.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there where we just accidentally made a building that was unnecessary. But yeah, it seems like Patience. Either he's getting a little nervous or he's just a little bit shaken by this early game, because that's not a mistake that you want to be doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. He's gonna get the explosion of gateways right after his third base is saturated. Kind of standard average play. But meanwhile, TY was able to snipe down one of the Phoenixes at the price, though, of just one medivac, I think. Yeah, no, actually no. It was nothing, actually. It was just a free Phoenix. Not that good.
Yeah, I mean, he used it to kind of lift up the Cyclone so those 3 Oracles can survive. But you know what? Those 3 Oracles surviving, that means a lot of energy can accrue up for those Revelations, those Stasis Wars. So who knows? Maybe he can start planting. Yep, looks like he is starting to plant those Stasis Ward.
Yeah, he has plenty of map control right now. He's not really in a threat of doing something too aggressive. He can just be sure he can have a head start in any fight that begins with this much vision, map control, and these Stasis words spread a little bit all around the map. So he's gonna be pretty safely getting this 4th base. And I have to admit, I'm kind of liking what Patience is doing here. Of course, the army of TY is very strong. It's not gonna be easy to fight it. Good catch on the Cyclone by the Stasis word.
Yeah, looks like TY is trying to smartly send out a Marine or two to kind of activate those Stasis Ward, but Patience just kind of interfering with it, trying to pick off any random forward Marine there. So nice job, very nice job by Patience, making sure those Stasis Ward stands and holds.
Yeah. Cyclone is gonna get sniped by the Phoenixes, but TY is actually spreading his army in 2 different sides, trying to maybe pincer move his opponent or maybe do a maneuver to distract him and then drop into the main.
Oh.
Really getting into this third base, and this is not something you want. Tanks are sieging up as soon as the recalls start coming. That's a lot of zealots, but the Nexus will still go down, and these Manivacs will just fly straight into the main. The tanks are gonna be cleared, but it's time for the Phoenixes and the Oracles to shine, and I'm not really sure they can do this much damage. Warping coming on top of these Medivacs, but in the meanwhile, there's another drop coming on the 4th. Devastating maneuver by TY, triple attack on 3 different bases, and I have to be honest, getting quite the head start on each and every one of them. Even though the setup from Patience was good, he was just able to sleep past it and get devastating damage.
Yeah, you know that on a map like that, there's so many avenues to get into your bases. It's just not enough. As much Stasis Ward as, you know, Patience threw out, just wasn't quite enough. He only made 1, I think, on the right side. Didn't make another one, even, you know, further up. So unfortunately, yeah, just didn't have any map vision and also army vision. Wasn't able to catch it, or else he would have been able to set up his army in a proper place. And yeah, he should have definitely kept up with the Revelation. I mean, having 3 Orgos, the advantage of that is to keep eye on where the Terran army is. Make sure that, you know, he doesn't randomly load those army up into a medevac and just drop you. And also, you know, make sure that, you know, you have your army in position to defend. And just very, very unlucky there for Patience.
Yeah. Also, like, just the beginning of the game with those Hellions sleeping past the defenses of Patience, getting those 6 early probes. That was already like setting up to TY getting into the mid game a little bit more powerful than his opponent was. And it really showed up in the end of this game how much more powerful TY ended up being with his incredible macro game. Just being able to spread his army in what were basically 3 different sides and just pull the attention of his opponent away from the main damaging maneuvers. So, great game by TY, great micro, great macro, and overall a great resource managing, most of all.
Yeah, very, very beautiful to watch. And now Patience, similar to Armani in the past semifinals, find himself down 0-2 and needs to win 3 straight games in order to have any chance to advance to the finals. So a tough task ahead of him against, especially someone by the likes of TY, who currently, I believe right now he is number 1 in the Korea EPT standings.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, I mean, especially because he won the last, he won 2 GSLs in the year of 2020, so he accrued a lot of his points there, and yeah, he's gonna have Patience definitely gonna have a tough task dealing with that.
Well, nothing is impossible in this game, but it's definitely not going to be easy, especially considering the fact that I think Patience is playing really good. It's just that TY is just too strong. Man, it's too good. But let's see. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Pillars of Gold is a blue Protoss, as my co-caster here, well, I'm his co-caster, as the main caster here said. He needs 3 in a row. Can he do it? It is Patience.
I definitely disagree. There is no main caster here. We're both 2 High Templars morphing into 1 Archon. Here we go. At the top right, we have the red Terran player from Africa Freaks. He is TY. Alright, early probe once again sent out here for Patience. Gonna go ahead and be a little bit pesky with it. Scout what's up by TY. Always want to scout and see if you're getting proxied or not as well. So let's see if this probe lives up to the last probe in the previous games.
Well, it's definitely very useful to just keep the probe around for confirming scouting information and just being a little bit more annoying. Need some Marine first, once more. It's interesting to see how the meta is developing for the Terran players, considering the recent exploit of the race as a whole. And Marine First has really become what is considered to be the most optimal choice many of the times, except for TVZ probably. So it's interesting. Let's just say it's interesting to see how this is developing.
Yeah, I feel like it's still 50-50. Like some Terrans will go Marine, some Terrans will go Reaper, but I remember it's a very stark difference compared to like the I guess like maybe 3 or 4 years ago or some around, you know, when Legacy of Void was out and about. Like everyone almost always go for a Reaper opening. Like that was like the standard. Like there was no other opening. And nowadays though, the Marine opening has been definitely, you know, made its way increased in the meta here. So I'm not sure who started it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Beyond or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Beyond was the first one to actually bring back these heavier Marine styles.
All right, Patience going for the Twilight Council opening here, going back to his bread and butter. Of course, he's mostly known for his Blink Stalkers. Sometimes not the best, because he is very, very aggressive with his Blink Stalkers, always blinking forward in situations where you probably wouldn't see other Protoss blink forward. He kind of takes those type of risk. sometimes it works into his favor and sometimes it doesn't. So, but you know, it is what he's most comfortable with.
Yeah, and it's always a good bet. It's a safe bet mostly to just go for those blink stalkers. Not only because it's the safest with it, not the safest. Sorry, he's the most proficient with it. He just feels right at home with his blink stalker play, but also because, especially on maps that are a little bit wider, they can really grant you a lot of map control in a stage of the game in which you badly, badly need it. So, it's always a good opener.
Alright. Looks like we have ourselves a double prong attack. Marine force into the main base while Helling's going to try to make his way into the natural. Luckily for him, though, luckily for Patience, he does have a stalker there to defend. And with the shield battery in the main, these stalkers will be able to fend off these Marines.
Yeah, very clean defense from Patience. Very easy one as well. He's just gonna show up some of his own end. He's gonna make it clear that he's going for that blink stalker play. Don't think that TY expected anything different, so I don't think Patience minds his opponent getting a good scout too much. Oh, but these aliens getting in the natural, that's not great. That's not great at all. Finally, a couple probes start falling down on the side of Patience. Oh, that's a couple too much, actually. It's gonna be a total of 5. Shield battery helped a lot there, but it's still going to be 5 kills. And man, 5 probes killed can really add up a lot in the later stage of the game if you start losing some more.
Yeah, if he keeps losing more and more, like, that adds up. Even though, like, it's not like game ending, losing 5 probes not like the worst thing in the world, but you keep letting TY get these probe kills here and there, it starts adding up. But now it seems like Patience, he's gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a counter attack. His blink is done, so we'll see if he does a blink in. It looks like TY is kind of baiting him a little bit, but oh, actually he might get the stim there.
Yeah, that's I think that's actually overall a good call by Patience to just go in there. And man, he's getting a lot of damage. Raven, the tech lab, and also a medevac before actually recalling, losing only 1 stalker. Man, that was great.
Yeah, all that 5 probes that was lost earlier in the game, that made it up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. With the interest, I'd say, he just paid it back in full.
And you
Man, that was a great play by Patience. That's why Blink Stalkers are so good in his hands.
Yeah, I mean that kind of was a great example to show why Patience is such known for his blink stalker play.
Yeah, taking his chances and then being able to just do the good blinks in the right positions, get himself a couple more easy kills, and head back home with a pretty interesting tech advantage.
Yeah, actually getting for Colossus along with Dark Shrine. That's usually not. You usually don't see the Dark Shrine this early in combination with the Colossus tech. But I think he feels like he's far ahead enough to risk it and go for it. And we'll see how TY deals with this. So far, there's no turrets here in each of the bases. And remember, he sniped out the Raven earlier on, so no detection. The only detection is here at the dirt base with the turret.
Yeah, and Patience is one of those players who feels like TVP is more of a tech race than anything else. So he always tries to reach out for that tech before his opponent can really get his answer to it, which is a very fun way to play this matchup, I feel. And while being, as you can see just in the supply, a lot behind in army, the army of Patience is actually pretty damn valuable. He has 3 sentries full of energy, he has a lot of blink stalkers, 2 colossi with extended thermal lance. He has a good upgrades. He has just completed +1 ground weapons, and he also has 2 disruptors with a dark shrine behind this. Like, this is a heavy tech army.
Yeah, there's nothing really that TY can do to break that. And you can see that already he's retreating back home. This observer for patience, being the money observer, scouting the movement of the Terran forces. And now the TTs are now ravaging their the TY's base. Oh, actually, he only sends one there. I would have loved to see him send some additional ones here to the main base or the natural, but DT is not really doing too much, and Patience does reveal the DT's hands. So I don't expect these DTs to do any more damage unless he does research a DT blink and then starts warping in. But for the time being, I don't see these DTs being of any use.
Yeah, probably just gonna be some kind of distraction and waiting for Shadow Strike. Yeah, exactly. Shadow Strike just gets started on the patient side, and that upgrade, man, that is a good upgrade.
All right, here we go. Looks like Patience looking to go for an attack, but Terran army is well fortified here behind these tanks as well as this command center.
It really cannot move out though. Like TY can just stay defensively, hold the line back home. I don't think like this army can easily move out, especially with disruptors being kind of a threat. I may be wrong, like TY has great micro, but on an open ground, I do feel like Patience's army has a little bit of a heads up.
Yeah. Now it's really tough to break a heavily turtled Terran army like this. Now the one answer is to just go very, very greedy and expand everywhere, because you know that the Terran army is not looking to attack. But here we go. Looks like Patience is ready to find the opening here and get on top. Oh, nice disruptors hits.
And meanwhile, on the right side, these zealots getting on top of one other tank and getting also a few of the SCVs mining over there. He's gonna freely gift those zealots, treating them for a couple of marines, because meanwhile he's getting a lot more stuff in the left hand side of his army. And here comes another full engagement. These disruption novas are dealing so much great damage. Meanwhile, there's a lot of Vikings getting on top of the Colossi. One of them is going to fall, the other barely survives, while the rest of the army comes clashing on top of the army of Patience. Patience kind of gifting a lot of his key units, but TY paying a heavy price for killing them. Both players really reset on their main army components. But I do feel like TY ends up being a lot weaker than his opponent is. A lot of zealots come clashing on the right side. These zealots with +2, they deal so much damage so quickly. It's gonna be 10 SCVs down on both sides. And the army of TY is quite in a bad shape right now.
Yeah, even though I don't think that was the most efficient trade there, Patience doesn't really need to go for an efficient trade, because
such an incredible economy.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go ahead and pull up the income graph. You can see that everything or most of the game all blue, and right now Patience just trading here, making sure that his economy of TY doesn't go crazy. And will he get this planetary? So close.
Oh, the Immortals are dealing so much damage so quickly. A lot of SCVs are falling down. These zealots getting on top of the rest of the army, dealing so much damage. There's no way out for TY. Patience gets his first game of this series, and he gets it in quite a fashion.
Yeah, nice little start there for Patience. He's starting to, at the very least, it's not going to be a 3-0 sweep in this series, so that's a good thing. But Patience, if he can manage to win another game, I mean, we're going to have ourselves a tied series heading to the 5th and decisive game. Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be, once again, quite a big task to do that. But I have to admit, Patience, very impressive game. That blink play in the beginning of the game was surely what granted him a big advantage, and then dropping all of that tech, have no fear for such a strong opponent. That's what I want to see out of Patience.
Yeah. By the way, in the chat, I see some people are interested in the Patreon page. I believe it's in the info section below the video player. I'm not 100% sure. I think if I recall correctly, the Patreon link is there. But if not, then you can check it in our Discord somewhere, or someone can post it in the live chat link. But anyhow, we're about to head into this game number 3. Let me go ahead and update the scoreboard. 2-1.
Number 4, actually.
Oh, sorry. Number 4, as the score is 1-2 in favor of TY.
Alrighty. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, just winning his first game of the series and proving to be himself quite the opponent. Let's see if he can do it again. It is Patience.
And he is the red Terran player, representing Afrika Freaks. Give it up for TY. Oh yeah, it's got that little rock music in the background, hyping up this game number 4.
Oh, Patience is going to need all the hype in this world, because this opponent he's facing in 2020 has proven himself to be one of the, even not the strongest player in the world. So let's all see what is going to happen in this game number 4. As I said, those two players have quite an history of playing against each other. TY quite an history of beating Patience. But Patience also had these couple times in which he put up quite the fight. And in the late game scenario, Patience is just insanely good if he can set up his wide economy based kind of army.
Yeah, it seems like Patience, you can kind of compare him to Solar, where maybe they're not like considered the greatest Protoss or Zergs out there. Like you would say, like maybe Zest, Trap, who am I forgetting? Stats would probably be, you know, in that tier 1 Protoss, but Patience and Solar, they've been around so long, they played so many years that you can never count them out in terms of taking out a series. So they're always a threat, they're always a danger, so you don't want to, you know, let your guard up, even if you have a nice history of beating them in the past.
Yeah. Alright, TY getting a page out of the book of Dream in the first series of today. It's gonna go ahead and go for an early Fur Command Center and go down very strongly on the economy department. And this is a short map. Going for an early Fur Command Center on Lightshade is a very bold maneuver.
We'll see if that works out in the end, but you know what, taking a little bit of a risk here, hoping that Patience doesn't scout this. Now Patience, once again, going for that blink opening. It's what he usually goes for. It's if he goes for any other, it's usually like kind of an anomaly of some sort. But yeah, let's see if he can, you know, similar in the last game, make a great use of these blink stalkers. Now this is a map where if you blink up, you actually have access to the add-ons like off the bat, because they're kind of spawning at the right position of the buildings. So Patience can definitely, once again, just blink up and snipe off a important add-on there that's researching either stim or combat shield or anything.
Yeah, and the timing of the Robo also makes me think is quite a his mind is set on the target right now. His eyes are set on the target most likely, and he's gonna try to go for something aggressive with his own blink stalkers.
He might even not even need the observer or the warp prism. He has a sentry. He can also use that as well. That's another option for him to get vision of the high ground. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he just went for a.
He doesn't have a lot of energy on the sentry, so I think, yeah, he's gonna just make an observer.
Okay.
He already hallucinated, but TY just doesn't want his opponent to move out. That's a lot of Marines coming off there. These poor sentries all alone over there. Quick maneuver, a quick move out by Patience, and also a great force field is gonna block these Marines from getting into the mineral line. But they're still gonna chase down these Stalkers before they can get Blink. Blink just finishes, and it's gonna be great timing. We alongside these one shield battery finishing in the third. Patience styling on TY right now.
Oh man, Patience living up to his name, having the patience to wait till a blink is done, and then the shield battery coming up just in the right of time. Oh boy, that was beautiful to watch.
That was absolutely insane from Patience side. Maybe a little bit of luck on the side as well. Who knows if it was all planned or not. But Patience is setting up a very, very strong mid-game, while TY, while having a strong economy, having that early for command center completely unanswered, it's gonna be a little bit behind in tech, which is gonna be a hard time coming if Patience survives without taking too much damage to the late game.
Oh, the Observer has all the vision in the world of these Marine Force, and now Patience just goes micro the Blink Stalkers, and that's the thing. You're not gonna have the siege tank to help defend against this when you go for a quick stim timing push like that. So he is gonna definitely bleed off some Marines here and there, but he needs to hang on long enough to get either those tanks out or maybe the Marauders.
To be honest, TY is losing way too many of those Marines than he wants to. Like, Patience has been doing such a great job whittling down the forces of his opponent and transitioning in the mid game meanwhile, that I do not think TY as a clean way of coming back into this game without actually microing out of his own mind.
Alright, we'll see if Patience moves out once he has maybe the 3 Colossus numbers. Usually you want to move out when you have around that type of number. So I've seen some Protoss move out with only 2. But oh, actually once again adding that Dark Shrine to his army.
And the second Robo just wants to have all the pieces of the puzzle put together once more. He wants that late game and he wants it now. Getting more Nexus is the next part of this. But the threat of TY moving out is actually getting quite significant. And Patience needs to be careful not doing the mistake of underestimating the firepower that TY can pack with his forces.
Well, I already love how Patience is getting so much map vision, not with only just the hallucinated phoenixes to get sight of the army movement, but also look at the observer placements. They're like on the outskirts of the bottom left side, and I love that. He got all the vision in the world. He knows when to send his stalkers into the main base to defend, so he's not going to have to worry too much about getting caught off guard.
Yeah, TY just needs to get this window of time in which he can actually deal damage and start doing something, because in a little while Patience will be far too strong for him to fight. And I actually think that he already is, but I don't think this is going to get better for TY unless once more he micros this army just absolutely perfectly, which is going to be very hard.
Yeah, I mean, TY's micro is crazy. Let's see if he can out micro Patience, where he just kind of, basically turn his world into chaos. And oh, actually, this is a nice catch, getting some disruptors here.
Yeah, clever maneuver by TY, faking to go into the main and then just sending the full medivacs on top of the rest of the army. Meanwhile, on the top right hand corner, there's a bunch of zealots fighting with a 2 medivac drop. Patience looks like he wants to take the fight head on here on top of the army in the left hand side of the map. He's gonna take a head start and get a lot of damage on top of it before TY can retaliate. And yeah, that was a great fight by Patience. TY wasn't able to quite get what he wanted, and now he needs to start dealing some damage with some drops left and right before he can get a Shockwave EMP upgrade.
Alright, looks like DTs has joined the fray here. That's definitely going to help against this fight. Doesn't have DT blink yet, but... Oh, there was just a slight lag there. nothing too bad. So hopefully there's no continuous lag throughout this game. But nice defense there by Patience. Will fend this army off.
Yeah, the Widow Mines will not do too much, but TY has already another prey in his mind, and that's the main base. Patience reacts quite quickly to this though, and he's not gonna lose a lot compared to what TY is losing to actually get this damage being done. Oh, Widow Mines, Widow Mines. Oh, yeah, there were 3 Widow Mines shot on top of the whole of the army in the top right of Patience. As you can see, they're quite bruised, but they're still alive.
Oh man, Patience working up to 6 Colossus here. It's gonna
That rough numbers for TY.
yeah, especially since he's going for Ghost, not a Viking. So hate to tell you, TY, but Ghost not the best against Colossus.
Yeah, maybe was expecting a heavier Disruptor army that he could maneuver a little bit more easily with a full bio army. But Patience decided to go instead for something a little bit different compared to the last game. And this army is a sight to behold. Like, just 17 Stalkers and 6 Colossi.
And he's also adding in DT Blink. So we've seen those DTs not being utilized the best effect, but once you get those DT Blinks, get some additional warpings of DTs, they can definitely get on top of a planetary. We'll see if that happens.
I mean, they're always a threat. Just by that upgrade being done, you can always have this like heavy mine advantage on top of your opponent that needs to be careful around Dark Templars, just blinking left and right into your base. You have to be careful about that. And TY certainly won't like having to mine too many different things. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, these Stalkers are gonna be having a hard time cleaning up the rest of the army of TY. A few of the Zealots will join up and help them, and the rest of the army of Patience is gonna collapse on the base of TY. For the first time, Patience decides to go for a head-on attack, and TY decides immediately to counter that by sending his own force on the bottom right. Here comes the recall. A lot of Colossi deal a lot of damage, and it's a full surround on the army of TY. These Colossi microing backwards while the Stalkers blink on top of everything. The rest of the army of TY is clashing over here. He's gonna get a head start into that little bit of a pocket. Patience needs to be careful. He has the army advantage in supply and in tech, but his army is very bruised and he's in an awful spot. These Colossi are getting so much damage on top of everything, but there's still so much energy on the Medivacs. Stalkers being added up in great numbers, and Patience is gonna get on the left side and try to get yet one more base before fighting the main army of his opponent. This planetary is in danger, and it will go down without too much of a hustle on Patience side.
Yeah, that +3 doing works for Patience, but he's still gotta contend with the army. He needs to get some additional composition into his army because he only has a Colossus and Blink Stalkers, and the majority or a lot of TY's army is in those Marauders. So he needs something to tank those, whether it's Charge Lot or maybe Archons, something to deal with those Marauders.
Or maybe just Disruptors could be a good call as well to just abuse those Marauders clumping up together. These Stalkers getting a very brave blink forward on the right. TY was able to snipe one of the bases and now head on the bottom with the other half of his army. But Patience is kind of committed with the fight on the top side. It's gonna be some kind of base trade. It looks like Patience is gonna lose 14 probes to this. But on the other side, TY is not looking that great against the army of Patience as well.
Yeah, gotta remember, he still has MMM versus what Patience has. He is adding even more Colossus. Why not? I mean, he does already have 4 in the field, but I guess he's just want to work up his way into 6 or 8. And so far, it's working pretty nicely for him.
Yeah, beautiful fight taken by Patience, just splitting the army of TY in two and getting a great engagement with the Colossi. So many of the Marauders and the Marines are falling one after the other. That's too much AoE damage. TY cannot get past that wall of Colossi. It's gonna be a tied up series. And let's get into game number 5. Man, I'm so excited about this series.
Oh man, I would have thought that TY was gonna win at 3-0 or 3-1 when we had an 0-2 lead or a 2-0 lead for TY, but Patience, he has managed to win 2 straight and has made this a very, very tight series.
He's bringing what is arguably currently the best Terran player in the planet to a game number 5. That's Patience for everybody. A player that can just absolutely get outstanding performances.
Yeah,
or get 3-0'd. And it's like the movie Sliding Doors, right? Even just a wrong maneuver in game number 3 and it would have been a clean sweep. But Patience held his stuff together and brought this to game number 5. And he has quite the momentum right now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, probably not the best army composition with just a majority Colossus and Stalkers, but when you're that ahead and you have just the numbers, just overwhelming numbers, you can pretty much overwhelm the Terran there, especially since those DTs actually did quite a number of work during that middle of the last fight. It was like way later until TY was able to scan and deal with those DTs. By then, all the Stalker reinforcement joined up, and there was just pretty much no way TY can contend with Patience army. He had to tap out after that.
Yeah, it was just too much of a tech advantage, and that army packed quite a punch. As you said, the Dark Templars being able to deal a lot of damage uncontested, and those Colossi, man, the damage they dealt. I was curious to see the kills on those guys, but he kept losing them and then replacing them one after the other. Just an incredible macro game on his side, to be honest.
Indeed.
Alright. We asked for it, we got it. It's game number 5. It's do or die. Let's see if he manages to win the 3rd in a row, spawning in the bottom right hand corner as the blue Protoss. Playing for Good Gate Gaming, it is Patience.
And spawning here at the top left corner of the map, all colored in red, looking for blood. He is the Red Terran from Afrika Freaks. It is TY. By the way, thank you for all the cheers in the Trovo. I see all the little bits and stuff. Definitely appreciate it, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Alright, so it all comes down here to a death aura. We'll see if both players come out with a more risky build, or they're gonna go back to what they know best.
Oh man. I feel like Patience is probably just gonna do something very similar to what he has done in the past 2 games. It worked out very fine this far. Why not do that again? But TY is quite well known for adapting very quickly to what your opponent is doing. So I'm curious, I'm very curious. It's gonna be an SCV scout on TY side, and that's the first. Not seeing the probe cam on his side of the map probably prompt him into doing that. And he will just see there's nothing to be really afraid of, while sending a Marine out to scout for any possible proxy. TY is being extremely careful in this game, more so than he ever was in the other.
Yeah, I guess you kind of that phrase, better safe than sorry. So, this is the 5th game to determine who will advance to the finals. Pretty important, so definitely want to make sure to secure the map. By the way, Size Matter in the live chat saying, Ekonti says, Sliding Doors, I have to watch that movie.
Oh, do watch it. It's a great movie. It's a very interesting story. It makes you think. Like even a single small decision can actually matter a lot. So
Is there like a older movie or a recent movie?
I think it was from the early 2000s.
Ah, okay, I see.
It's quite a young Gwyneth Paltrow in that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't also watched that movie as well, so might check it out.
It is a. I think it's a great movie. Like it's a great idea that is put into a good movie. So it makes for a great movie in my mind. So do watch it. I very much suggest it. Yeah, 1998. Okay, even earlier than I was thinking about.
Oh man, Cynical, that's like the story of my life, basically.
I mean, the movie is quite dramatic, but I don't know. Patience has done already quite a lot of good moves here. Just blocking off a lot of scouting, being able to get a lot of scouting of his own, not getting any unit of TY past, and he's already getting on the nerves of his opponent. I can easily see this being the case with this Medivac Widowmine drop being scouted basically instantly. So already pre-spreading his stalkers probably. No, actually not. Actually clumping them all together, waiting for the Medivac to come fly past. But his stalkers are way out of position right now. Oh man, Widowmine's getting in position. Not gonna get a lot of great connections, but they're gonna get 2 probes and oh yeah, and 2 stalkers. Man, that was not great. Meanwhile, Hellions are gonna get in the mineral line in the natural. Patience, patience, patience. Way too confident with how he handled this Widowmine Hellion drop. Had a lot of lag there.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh, didn't experience any. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Sometimes I feel like because
it was just a spike, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, because we're in like we're not in Korea, so we're like being in the Korea server, it may have like little hiccups here and there, but not too bad. But anyhow, yeah, looks like overall 5 probes, 3 stalkers going down versus the 3 widow mines and 2 hellions. Was able to save the medevac, so if he wants to, he can probably just load another group of widow mines and do another drop later in the game.
And Patience, yeah, this is very unlucky on Patience side. He just sent out a stalker before the Banshee came in the natural.
Ah.
Boy, that is unlucky.
And he can't even recall on the correct nexus. He has to recall on the other one, because that's the only one that has the energy for the recall.
No shield battery means 6 probes are going to die in this. Man, this is looking pretty rough on Patience. Like, he's been losing 11, I think it's 11 probes, right? Yeah, 11 probes in the first 6 minutes of this game. TY just showing us how ruthless he can be with his opponents. And now it's gonna go ahead and be defending these Stalker, blinking into his main with tanks this time, not just with Widow Mines and stuff such as that. He's gonna get an add-on out of this factory. I think it was a tech lab.
Yep.
But it's not anything as clutch as Steam Pack or Combat Shields would have been.
Alright, looks like this game has finally settled as both players have somewhat stabilized. Looks like TY is starting to establish his dirt base while Patience is starting to saturate his dirt base. So far, I definitely give the edge to TY, but it's definitely not out of realm the possibility for Patience to win this game still. So anything can still happen.
Yeah, TY just has this moment in the game in which he's extremely stronger than his opponent. That is going to be when both concussive shells and combat shields finish. That is gonna be just an absolutely dominating moment of the game for him, because both are gonna finish before +2 and charge from Patience. That is the window of time which is gonna be just absolutely the strongest, as well as infantry weapons and infantry armor +1 and +1. After that, if Patience is able to make enough Colossi to just be able to whittle down the ground army while the Stalkers get on top of the Liberators, the tables could turn. But that is going to take a while. And TY is currently moving out.
Yeah. Now remember, in the last game, we did see TY mainly relying on MMM army composition. This time around, you can see he's adding in tanks, he's adding in liberators. That's definitely a much better army compared to the last game.
Yeah, that is exactly the window of timing I was talking about. In this moment in time, TY is at its strongest. His army is almost unbeatable for Patience. Patience needs to buy time. He needs the +2 upgrade, he needs more AoE damage. These force fields have to be perfect, or he's just gonna straight up die to this push.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to engage in the middle of the map, forcing the slow push, forcing a TY to, you know, siege up and then unsiege and siege up and then unsiege. So yeah, he is gonna definitely buy enough time to at least get the initial disruptors out and about. But is that enough? That's the question.
He needs more time. He needs more time. He needs to whittle down this army. This Nexus is not gonna be savable, and that's already a little bit of damage. Luckily enough for him, he has another on the left side. EMP is on the making. TY is gonna have another big spike. I don't know about this first Nova. He's not gonna get anything. These tanks are getting a couple quick and clean shots. The sentries are still up and standing, but these Stalkers are taking a little bit too much damage. They're gonna engage while the tanks are unsieged. Gonna get a Marauder, but they need to get much more. Patience needs time. He's buying a lot of it, but TY is relentlessly moving, inevitably I'd say, moving closer and closer to the most important bases out of Patience. Beautiful anti-armor missile. The Purification Novas were not as great. The tanks are sieged up very close right now. They start getting shots on top of everything. A beautiful blink forward. Very scary one for Patience. He's gonna get a little bit of damage, but these tanks are still dealing so much. On the other side, a Zealot run by is gonna get a little bit of attention out of TY at the very least, and it looks like Patience is doing something, but has he enough army to deal with this? The Immortals are out right now. There's still 2 Purification Novas to drop on top of this Bio army, but the Nexus is gonna go down, and Patience is gonna find himself split in 2.
Oh man, he's gotta be careful, gotta control both of these army. Oh, and TY is gonna find the opportunity to get on top of these Colossus, but these Colossus still alive. Disruptors being shot at all the initial frontline tanks. Oh man, is this enough? It's gonna be a close one. Oh my god, these Colossus are stuck behind these mineral lines. Oh boy.
Boy, it was a beautiful fight from Patience. Those Disruption Novas getting on top of the tanks, managing to tank a lot of damage with just the Stalkers, and splitting the damage equally between his own army. He forced to recall the Colossi in the main, but this army of Patience is right now growing. +2 did a lot of the work, and now you can see TY finally backing off. Patience, what a sick hold, my friend.
Oh man, that was such a great hold. It was very tight, but you know what? Patience in the middle of that fight managed to expand to the further outskirts of his bases, and now he's going to keep up in terms of bases, and also he at least survives for another fight.
TY knows he has one more window of timing in which he's gonna be stronger than his opponent, and it's gonna be the last one. Shockwave EMP is done for him. +3/+3 halfway through. Once +3/+3 finishes, his army is gonna be extremely strong. Patience didn't have quite the time to replace some of his key units and add on more of the tech he needs. But TY, I don't think he's replenishing his forces fast enough.
And I don't also like how he's just replenishing with just Marine Marauder. He is adding a few ghosts, but all the tanks during that fight did go down. So, I mean, I would have loved for him to either continuously make those tanks or maybe even add in some liberators during this stage in the game. You know, kind of throwing some liberators into the mineral line, sieging them up. It's actually pretty effective. So I would love to see him, you know, go for that route. But so far, it looks like he is going to go stick with the Marine, Marauder, and Ghost.
Yeah, TY was getting ready for a big fight. He missed the first VMP, hit the second, and now that's a beautiful concave by TY. Gonna get a head start on the Army of Patience while moving on the other side. Colossi will get the first few shots while the Zealots come charging on top of everything else. And these Medivacs are gonna collect all of his units and start dropping into the main. TY has found the maneuver he needs. Did he find it? Oh man, these units are surely getting way too close to the Colossi. One of them is gonna fall instantly, but in the end, TY forced to yet collect these units one more and drop into yet another base. This Nexus is not gonna fall. The Zealots are taking position to deal with everything else, but Patience is gonna find himself between a rock and a hard place with this army clashing on top of the right hand side of the map. These Stalkers wouldn't get close enough for a head start into the battle, but it still deals so much damage right now. +3/+3 has yet to finish, but a plane forward by Patience is gonna force his army in a bad spot. TY is gonna lose a bunch of it, but in the same moment, he's gonna send a whole other contingent of Marine, Marauders, and Ghosts here in the bottom left while dropping into the main. 11 probes are gonna fall. Patience is gonna have a very hard time dealing with this, but he's still gonna clean up the army in the main and send the rest to deal with this one on this other side. The next side have fallen, and now it's time for the Colossus to do what they do best: melt down this bio army. And once more, Patience survives.
Oh man, a number of actions going on in the past minute or so. And when it's all said and done, right now, looks like Patience kind of quite behind in terms of the economy, as he did lose a couple of bases. But TY did also lose a lot of army there too. So, I don't know. I mean, this game, I feel like could still go any way.
Yeah, absolutely. Two incredible players showing us their best game. Whoever wins this is gonna deserve it so much. Both players playing extremely good. Now a little bit of a trade here economy-wise. This will not work in favor of Patience though. He's gonna lose one Nexus. He's gonna kill more SCVs, but at this stage of the game, does TY really need all these SCVs? It really doesn't, with mules being a thing.
Oh.
And still collecting more gas than his opponent. Oh my god. Shield Body Overcharge is gonna try and keep this army alive, but Patience is gonna lose a lot dealing with the army of TY. Meanwhile, the rest of his army is standing up at the Rich Vespine Geyser base, and this is gonna be yet one more huge clash between armies. Medivacs are getting not too close to the Stalkers to get any good shots, and these Colossi, how many kills do these guys have? 35 and 27? Okay, Patience, do whatever you want with those AoE units, because right now, your army supply is getting over the one of TY, and finally the Terran comes struggling, losing too much of his own army without getting too much damage.
Oh, it seems like the momentum has been turning around here in favor of Patience. However, can he close it out? Right now, he loses all his Colossus here. He's going to have to join up with the rest of his army as it walks away and walks towards the left side.
I mean, those Colossi still were absolutely the MVP of this game. Now these Vikings are not gonna do a whole lot, especially with these Immortals being out. Once more, another beautiful EMP is gonna come clashing on top of the army of Patience, but is replenishing with a lot of Zealots, and this army, TYS, is not that great at fighting Zealots.
And one of the great things about having DTs, the Dark Shrine, at this stage of the game is You know, those DTs can just basically shut down bases. TY is trying to expand to the right side, but was shut down by the DTs. You can't expand towards the left side here in the 9 o'clock base because of this huge Protoss ball. And yeah, it looks like if Patience can add in some extra Colossus or maybe Disruptors, I feel like he can possibly close out this game. But TY, he is resilient. He is keeping up. He is trying to hang on.
It looks like Patience listens to your advice and gets 2 Disruptors going in a production tab. His army is well split in 2 different sides. That's a lot of SCVs coming. Oh my god, the Purification Nova almost decimates the army of TY. Patience feeling confident, and he's gonna get a lot of Zealots on the top side, getting the Planetary and forfeiting this base over here with Rich Vespine Geyser. I think it is probably worth. His income has been absolutely insane for a lot of time, but Patience is a little bit starved in the gas. He's not been collecting a lot of gas, and he doesn't really have a lot of gas-heavy units.
I love what Patience is going for. He has a huge bank in minerals. He can afford to throw away some of these charge lot. And this charge lot counterattack is doing so much damage.
Meanwhile, TY trying to fight back. He's gonna get 2 next side, but man, he's finding himself in a very awful spot. It looks like the Vikings will try to dive on top of the Colossi while the Zealots come running around all the way around, trying to set up this big surround. And it looks like TY manages to understand what is going on and decides to back off. But these have been a rough couple minutes for TY. This Zealot run by in the top right has destroyed his economy.
I'm surprised actually these these charge lot made his way across the world and returned back home. I would have sworn they would have been dead by now, but they managed to make it back home, rejoin the main army here, and now this main army is looking to shut down this base.
Purification Novas come on top of everything. A few miss, but a few other are gonna get some very good connections. TY still manages to find a good concave, but is it going to be enough? More Zealots come clashing. These Liberators are not in a great spot right now. The Zealots are still on top of everything. Last Liberator is going to fall. TY's supply is non-existent, and there's still 2 Immortals. Here comes the Purification Nova. Here comes the Immortals. Another Purification Nova is gonna get the rest of the army. Zealots come clashing down, and it's gonna be the end of TY. Patience gets the 3rd game in a row for the reverse sweep in the 2nd series of today.